El Amazonas, la mayor selva tropical del mundo, es conocida como el pulmón del planeta por los gases de efecto invernadero que absorbe y almacena. Esta es una zona de tala ilegal, cerca de un parque natural.
Uma coisa significativa para a Amazônia só pode acontecer se os grandes empresários, se os grandes produtores, se eles tiverem uma sanção por desmatamento.
It's also one of our most important defenses against climate change, storing up to 200 billion tons of carbon, which is roughly 5 years' worth of global carbon emissions from the burning of fossil fuels. But humans are slowly tearing it down. About 18% of the Amazon has already been destroyed, and many scientists now believe we could soon reach a tipping point where the Amazon starts to dry up and can no longer function as a rainforest. The Amazon has already lost 18% of its tree cover, and it's losing an extra 1% roughly every 3 years. Some of the main drivers include logging, ranching, mining, and agriculture.
I should have known I'd leave alone. Just goes to show that the blood you bleed is just the blood you own. We were a pair, but I saw you there. Too much to bear. You were my life, but life is far away from fair. Was I stupid to love you? Was I reckless to hurt you? Was it obvious to everybody else that I've fallen for a lie? You were never.
La antigua Yugoslavia aunó durante la segunda mitad del siglo XX naciones con diversas culturas, religiones y lenguas en el sureste de Europa. Eslovenia y Croacia, Serbia, Bosnia y Herzegovina, Montenegro, Macedonia del Norte y Kosovo.
Desde 1944 hasta su muerte en 1980, Tito gobernó a Yugoslavia.
Tanto aquí como fuera de Serbia, los enemigos de los serbios se están juntando contra nosotros. Y hoy les decimos, no tenemos miedo, no le tememos a la guerra.
De donde logró el control del ejército de toda Yugoslavia. La noticia no fue bien recibida en las otras repúblicas. Eslovenia y Macedonia se declararon independientes. Milosevic envió el ejército a proteger sus intereses. Fue el principio de una guerra civil que duraría años.
A Palestinian refugee.
Nearly 1 million harmless Arab villagers have been made homeless as a result of war in the Holy Land.
Their dream of a state seems to be fading away, and now it seems even their status as refugees is under threat. In 1948, around 750,000 Palestinians fled or were driven from their homes in the fighting that surrounded the creation of the State of Israel.
UNRWA is not serving Palestinians. UNRWA is a political arm that claims to serve Palestinians.
Hundreds of thousands of Palestinian refugees have fled to Lebanon over decades because of military conflict in neighboring countries like Syria.
Over 850,000 Jews were expelled or fled from the Middle East and North Africa. 650,000 of the Jews forced to flee North Africa and the Middle East became citizens of Israel.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
Putin called this a special military operation, but it's clear this is a full-scale invasion. Russian troops and tanks have entered Ukraine on all fronts. All these cities are under attack, including the capital of Kyiv, which has become Putin's main target. Many are sheltering in basements and metro stations across Ukraine. There have been hundreds of casualties, and over 500,000 Ukrainians have been forced to flee their homes. This is one of Europe's largest wars since World War. NATO's response force has been activated for the first time in history, and the US has sent additional troops to Eastern Europe. But in many ways, the world is treading carefully. Putin controls the world's largest arsenal of nuclear weapons and has already threatened anyone who might interfere.
Кто бы ни пытался помешать нам, должны знать, что ответ России будет незамедлительным и приведет вас к таким последствиям, с которыми вы в своей истории еще никогда не сталкивались.
American steelworkers producing round after round of artillery.
A mí me verán reír, platicar, pero yo todo el tiempo tengo el pensamiento en la mente. Si estará bien, si estará comiendo o qué estará pasando.
14 meses después de que Estados Unidos lanzara la alerta sobre la existencia de una red de tráfico de niños en el sistema DIF de Sonora, ningún pequeño ha regresado con su familia. Fue el 26 de marzo de 2015 cuando a través de un oficio del Departamento de Seguridad Interior de Estados Unidos se advirtió sobre la venta de recién nacidos por funcionarios de la administración del entonces gobernador Guillermo Padres Elías.
En México, las autoridades rescataron a 23 niños que estaban siendo explotados por una red de trata de menores. Entre ellos había 3 bebés. El resto tenía entre 2 y 15 años. Fue en Chiapas. 3 mujeres que fueron arrestadas, aparentemente los forzaban a trabajar.
I was just a little girl wanting to have a boyfriend or something like that, and my mom turned it into something way different.
Versus putting the handcuffs on him at 20 years of age, they actually put the handcuffs on me at 11.
When I got married, I had just turned 13. We stood in my living room and in this ugly dress that my mother bought off the internet. It is really all the time that I think about what I could have done or could have been.
Well, we're here in Idaho talking about Angel's story because this state has one of the highest rates of child marriage anywhere in the country.
I got married to my rapist, the guy that raped me.
And then he would begin touching me over my underwear.
Sarah knew her abuser as Uncle Mike, her dad's friend.
But in 25 of them, there is no set minimum age below which a child can't get married. Even in all of the other states where there is a minimum age set, it can be as low as 13 or 14 years old.
En principio, la idea de Guantánamo era alojar a los prisioneros más peligrosos, involucrados con el terrorismo. Sin embargo, desde su fundación, numerosos reportes han señalado que parte de los prisioneros se encuentran encarcelados de manera preventiva. Guantánamo está relacionado con la tortura a prisioneros por parte de la Agencia Central de Inteligencia de los Estados Unidos, o CIA, en sus siglas en inglés. En los peores momentos de la guerra contra el terrorismo, la cárcel llegó a albergar a 800 reclusos.
The Human Rights Commissioner says Iran is experiencing a human rights crisis as a result of the state's violent suppression of protests over the past 8 weeks.
This support by the international community for them, I think that counts for a lot. And what can actually practically happen from that point forward will remain to be seen, both by the UN, but I think more importantly by the Western communities.
It's like the floodgates have opened and it's just non-stop.
What the hell happened here?
Probably 9 out of 10 people do fentanyl don't even know it. None of us know what we're doing.
He's going to give her another Narcan. So this will be the second one that we put in to try to, because she didn't respond to the first one, so we're going to put in a second one.
The dealers are now mixing fentanyl with everything. We're seeing an increase of fentanyl mixed with cocaine, fentanyl mixed with methamphetamine. To the dealer, they almost look at this fentanyl now as a magic dust that's just a moneymaker.
Everybody dies. Surprise, surprise.
La política de la paz total fue aprobada en su último debate en el Congreso de la República. Pero, ¿en qué consiste la llamada paz total? Este es un concepto creado por el gobierno de Gustavo Petro que está recogido en buena parte del proyecto aprobado. Esta política busca que la paz sea un eje transversal a todos los asuntos que se aborden en el país, y con esta nueva política se abrirán dos procesos, uno de diálogos de paz y otro de acogimiento a la justicia. Sin embargo, este proyecto de la paz total ha tenido críticos y detractores. Por el primero de ellos eran los indultos a los miembros de la primera línea que habían sido capturados durante las manifestaciones. También se votó en contra del Servicio Social para la Paz, que aspiraba a ser una alternativa para el servicio militar obligatorio.
El pangolín, un mamífero totalmente recubierto de escamas, es el animal más traficado del mundo. Menos 1 de cada 5 especies de vertebrados del mundo se compra y vende de manera ilegal.
El estatus que se puede derivar por poseer ciertas especies o ciertos productos derivados de algunos animales, por ejemplo, como es el caso del marfil que se obtiene de los elefantes.
Solo en 2019, el comercio de vida silvestre creció entre 40 y 60% comparado con las cifras de años anteriores.
Brasil presenta la mayor biodiversidad del planeta, siendo un punto neurálgico para la caza ilegal y el tráfico de especies salvajes. Millones de animales son allí vendidos cada año, especialmente aves.
There are roughly 5,000 rhinos remaining, and since 2013, roughly 1,000 have been killed each year. If you do the math, that doesn't give us much time until rhinos will be gone forever.
It was the cornerstone of the U.S. strategy to rebuild Afghanistan after the invasion in 2001. It cost over $200 million to build, and hundreds of lives were lost defending it. Just weeks after 9/11, the U.S. invaded Afghanistan, where al-Qaeda had planned the attacks. They were sheltered by the Taliban, who controlled the Afghan government at the time. To make matters worse, there were only 50 kilometers of paved road in 2002, which meant most of these communities were isolated. The U.S. decided to change that by rebuilding the Ring Road. Those trade circulated through more places and medical services reached more people. It gave the new government in Kabul more legitimacy around the country. Ring Road was far from complete, yet reconstruction funding was cut by $1.2 billion a few years later. The U.S. preoccupation with Iraq gave the Taliban an opening to return, and they seized it.